What happens when you corner a man who's faced death in ways you can't imagine? In the belly of Ironwood Penitentiary, where hope is a rumor and violence is currency, a lone figure known only as Marcus walked the yard with quiet steps. His silence wasn't fear, it was restraint. A black man in his late 30s, he kept his head low, his eyes sharp, and his past buried. To the other inmates, he was just another face in the crowd, unremarkable except for the faint scar tracing his cheek like a whispered warning. But in a place ruled by predators, anonymity is a fragile shield. The Reapers, a gang that owned Ironwood shadows, had marked Marcus from day one. Led by a hulking brute named Kessler, they saw his solitude as weakness, his calm as cowardice. "He's soft," Kessler sneered, his lieutenants nodding like hungry dogs. They planned to make an example of him, to cement their reign with blood. In the yard, under a sky as gray as the walls, they circled him 6 men, armed with shivs and arrogance. The other inmates watched, silent, knowing better than to interfere. Marcus stood still, his breath steady, his gaze fixed on the ground. "Last chance to beg," Kessler growled, twirling a blade. Marcus didn't flinch. He didn't speak. He just waited. The attack came fast. Kessler lunged, his shiv aimed for Marcus's ribs. In a blur, Marcus sidestepped, his movements precise, almost surgical. He caught Kessler's wrist, twisted it with a sickening crack, and sent the blade clattering to the concrete. The other Reapers froze, their confidence fracturing. Marcus moved like a ghost, each strike deliberate, each block effortless. One man swung a pipe. Marcus deflected it, disarming him with a single motion before driving an elbow into his jaw. Another charged. Marcus pivoted, using the man's momentum to send him crashing into the fence. Within seconds, the Reapers were on the ground, groaning, their weapons scattered like leaves. The yard fell silent, the air thick with shock. Whispers spread like wildfire. Who is this guy? The Reapers hadn't just lost, they'd been dismantled. But the story didn't end there. A new figure emerged from the crowd, a wiry old man named Eli, his eyes clouded but sharp. He was no gang member, just a lifer who'd seen too much. "You're no ordinary con," Eli said, his voice low, almost reverent. He'd been watching Marcus since he arrived, piecing together fragments of rumors. Eli claimed he'd known a Delta Force operative years ago, a man who moved like Marcus did, silent, deadly, unbreakable. "They don't send men like you to places like this without a reason," Eli murmured. Marcus met his gaze but said nothing, his silence louder than any confession. Eli's words shifted the air. The inmates began to see Marcus differently, not as prey, but as a predator in waiting. Kessler, nursing a broken wrist, wasn't done. Humiliated, he rallied the Reapers for a second strike, this time in the mess hall at night. They came with numbers 10 men, armed with makeshift blades and a thirst for revenge. But Eli, in a twist no one saw coming, had warned Marcus. The old man, frail but fearless, had slipped him a note. "They're coming. Don't hold back." Marcus didn't want this fight, but he knew it was inevitable. When the Reapers stormed the hall, he was ready. The clash was chaos. Tables overturned, trays clattered, and shouts echoed off the walls. Marcus moved like a storm, each motion a lesson in controlled violence. He disarmed one man with a flick of his wrist, floored another with a single strike to the chest. Kessler, wild with rage, swung a metal pipe. Marcus caught it midair, wrenched it free, and brought it down on Kessler's shoulder, dropping him to his knees. The fight ended as quickly as it began, the Reapers broken, their myth shattered. Marcus stood over them, unscathed, his breath steady as ever. Word of the fight reached the warden, a man who knew more about Marcus than he let on. In a private meeting, he revealed the truth. Marcus wasn't just a prisoner. He was undercover, sent to Ironwood to dismantle the Reapers from within. His Delta Force training, his scars, his silence, they were tools of a mission. But the cost was heavy. Marcus had lost years to this place, his life outside reduced to ashes. The warden offered early release, but Marcus shook his head. "There's still work to do," he said, his first words in weeks. In the days that followed, Marcus became a legend, not for his violence, but for his restraint. He didn't seek power or fear, sought justice. Eli, the old man, became his unlikely ally, a reminder that even in Ironwood's darkness, humanity could flicker. The inmates learned a lesson. Some men aren't what they seem, and some fights aren't worth starting. Marcus walked the yard again, his steps still quiet, his eyes still sharp. But now, the shadows parted for him.